Hello, readers. Welcome to the Reader's Garden. I'm Mrs. Gardner. I am so excited to read and learn with you today. So let's get going.
Phonics connects sounds and symbols, unlocking code, increasingly nimble, like wings for words, it'll lift you high. With every sound you soar, you fly.
These are all the stops we're going to make today on our journey through the Reader's Garden. For this lesson, I will be there for you for every step of the way as we practice becoming stronger readers and stronger writers. So let's start following our path. This is the letter Y, and Y is a consonant. The letter Y makes the sound Y. Y. Can you make that sound? Y. Y spells Y, like in the beginning of the word yarn. Yarn. Can you say yarn? Y, y. So the interesting thing about the letter Y and the sound that it makes is that it's a very hard sound to isolate, to say all by itself, and we tend to add a bit of a schwa sound to it. So it's helpful to think about the word yarn and then remove the arn part and think about what we're left with. Y, arn, y. Arn. We can hear the Y sound in the beginning of words like yak, y-ak, yak, and in the beginning of words like yet, y-et, yet. Can you do that one with me? Y-et, yet. The letter Y is such an interesting letter because it can make both consonant and vowel sounds. Today we're going to be focusing on Y as a consonant. To make that Y sound, start with your mouth opened and your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Then open your mouth wider as you let that sound flow. Like in the beginning of the word yes, yes, or in the beginning of the word yellow, yellow, yellow. And see if you can really isolate that beginning sound. Let's try it together. Tongue up. Mouth open, then glide into the sound Y. You can hear it at the start of words like young and yell. It's fun to see how letters work in different ways. And we'll come back to the letter Y again when we talk about it when it takes almost a vowel form. So this is not our last time talking about the letter Y. Keep practicing that Y sound and listen for it in other words too. Now let's practice writing an uppercase Y. To make an uppercase Y, you're going to start at that top line and we're going to skywrite with our fingers. So start at the top line, do a slanted line towards the middle. Go back up to the top line, do a slanted line to meet that first line at the middle. And then from the middle, do a straight line down to the bottom. Beautiful. Let's skywrite it again. Top, slant to the middle. Top, slant to the middle. Middle, straight to the bottom. Now let's learn how to make the lowercase y. So we start at the middle and slant down to the bottom. Then we hop back up to the middle. And this time when we slant, we're going to go past the bottom. This is a letter that goes beneath the bottom line. So starting at that middle, slant down, 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 past that bottom line and stop. Let's try again. Go to the middle, slant to the bottom. Go to the middle, slant to the bottom, and go past it. And that is how we make the lowercase and the uppercase Y. Now that you've heard about our new concept, we're going to continue on with our phonemic awareness practice. We'll be blending with our friend Blenda and segmenting with our friend Siggy. So let's go meet up with them.
It's time to blend some phonemes. Blender, the blender by. Please blend each sound that I tell you, then say the word you got.
Hi, Blenda. How are you today? It's so good to see you. I love being here in the Reader's Garden with you. So we are going to say some phonemes, some sounds, and then we'll blend those sounds together so that our friend Blenda can understand what we're saying. And we're going to really be focusing on that Y sound, that Y. So that first sound, let's see, I know the first word we're going to do. The first word is y-a-k. Again, do it with me. yak. Blend them together. Yak, yak. Very good. Our next word is yip, 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 yip. Blended, did you understand that one? Yeah, a yip is sort of like the sound that a dog makes when it's excited. My dog has like a puppy bark that he does where he's like, yip, and he's trying to get other dogs to play with him. All right, our next one, let's go, is yet, 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 yet. Blenda, did you understand that one? Oh, good. Okay, and let's do one more. This one's going to be 4 sounds. Yaks, 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 yaks. Like a whole herd of yaks wandering the plains. A yak is a giant animal that looks a lot like a cow, but almost like a cow wearing a giant fur coat. Okay, Blenda, did you understand all 4 of the words we blended? Wonderful. Great. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you for your help as always.
Oh, hey there, Siggy, how you doing today? You're an expert segmenter and you love to play. Miss Gardner, tell us a word and let's all listen close. Then we'll say each phoneme our practice really shows.
Siggy, it's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. All right, so this is going to be our practice with Siggy today. I'm going to say a word, and then we are going to segment it. We're going to split it into its different sounds so that Siggy can understand what we're saying. Siggy, are you on board for this? Wonderful. Are you on board for this? Great. Let's go. I've got my blending beads with me, and we are going to segment. Our first word is the word yes. 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 So the 3 sounds I hear are yes. Yes. Siggy, did you understand? Excellent. Next word is, oh, I like this word. The next word is yum. Yum, like something that's very delicious. Yum. 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 Siggy, did you understand? Yum. Beautiful. Let's do another 3 sound word. The word is yap. Yap. Sometimes we say that little tiny dogs, that their bark sounds like a yapping sound. It's interesting. I realize we have the yip sound and the yap sound. That's funny. Okay, so the word is yap. 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 That is the word yap. It has 3 sounds. Yap. And for our last one, let's do a word that has 4 sounds. Okay, the word is yelp. Yelp. Now, yelp is an interesting word because before the website Yelp existed, which is a website where people give reviews of like restaurants and hotels, the word yelp just meant to sort of cry out, to give a short little yell. And so it's interesting because now in our language, we almost think of it as having 2 meanings, a short little yell and giving a review of a restaurant. So that's sort of funny how like the meaning can change over time. All right, the word is yelp. 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 We got all 4 sounds. Yelp. Yelp. Siggy, did you understand all of our segmenting that we did today? Ah, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. It was wonderful to see you, and we will see you tomorrow. Wonderful work, readers. It's time now for our visual drill practice. So let's keep heading down this path. This is the letter J. And what does the letter J spell? The letter J spells J. The letter J spells J, like in the beginning of the word jellyfish. This is the letter W. And what does the letter W spell? The letter W spells W. The letter W spells W, like in the beginning of the word water. This is the letter L. And what does the letter L spell? The letter L spells ul. The letter L spells ul, like in the beginning of the word lion. This is the letter R. And what does the letter R spell? The letter R spells The letter R spells like in the beginning of the word rainbow. This is the letter H. And what does the letter H spell? The letter H spells like in the beginning of the word hat. This is the letter K. And what does the letter K spell? The letter K spells K. The letter K spells K, like in the beginning of the word key. This is the letter S. And what does the letter S spell? The letter S spells S. The letter S spells S, like in the beginning of the word snake. This is also the letter S. And the letter S also spells Z. The letter S also spells Z, like in the word music. Music. This is the letter E. And what does the letter E spell? The letter E spells E. The letter E spells E, like in the beginning of the word elephant. This is the letter B. And what does the letter B spell? The letter B spells B. The letter B spells B, like in the beginning of the word ball. This is the letter G. And what does the letter G spell? The letter G spells G. The letter G spells G, like in the beginning of the word goat. This is the letter U. And what does the letter U spell? The letter U spells The letter U spells like in the beginning of the word umbrella. This is the letter C. And what does the letter C spell? The letter C spells K. The letter C spells like in the beginning of the word cat. This is the letter D. What does the letter D spell? The letter D spells D. The letter D spells D, like in the beginning of the word duck. This is the letter O. And what does the letter O spell? The letter O spells ah. The letter O spells ah, like in the beginning of the word otter. This is the letter N. And what does the letter N spell? The letter N spells N. The letter N spells N, like in the beginning of the word nest. This is the letter I. And what does the letter I spell? The letter I spells I. The letter I spells I, like in the beginning of the word inchworm. This is the letter F. And what does the letter F spell? The letter F spells The letter F spells like in the beginning of the word feather. Feather. This is the letter P. And what does the letter P spell? The letter P spells P. The letter P spells like in the beginning of the word penguin. This is the letter T. And what does the letter T spell? The letter T spells The letter T spells T, like in the beginning of the word turtle. This is the letter M. M. And what does the letter M spell? The letter M spells mm. The letter M spells like in the beginning of the word moon. Now that we finished our visual drill, it's time for our auditory drill. So let's head down the path and practice our sounds. Please write the letter that makes the sound J. Please write the letter that makes the sound J. To write the letter J, you're going to go to the top line and do a candy cane shape. So you're going to go from the top straight down to the bottom and then curve back up just a bit. Then you're going to hop back up to that top line and do a straight line across that top line. So you end up with a straight straight horizontal line, excuse me. Let's trace that one together in the air. Let's do a J. So we're going to hop to the top, do a candy cane shape down and curving back up. Then we're going to hop back up to the top and do a horizontal line across that straight line that we just drew. And that is how you write and trace the letter J. Please write the letter that makes the sound W. Please write the letter that makes the sound W. This is how you write the letter W. You're going to start at the top line and do a slanted line down to the bottom. Then from the bottom, you're going to do a slanted line back up to the top. When you're at the top, you're going to do a slanted line back down to the bottom. And when you're at the bottom, you'll do a slanted line back up to the top. Let's trace the letter W in the air together. So starting at the top, we're going to do a slanted line down to the bottom. From the bottom, we'll do a slanted line back up to the top. From the top, we'll do the slanted line back down to the bottom. And from the bottom, we'll do a slanted line back up to the top. And that is how you do the very fun letter W. Please write the letter that makes the sound L. Please write the letter that makes the sound L. To write the letter L, you're going to hop up to the top line and do a vertical line straight down to the bottom. When you're at the bottom, you're going to do another line, this time a horizontal line across the bottom. That is how you write a letter L. Let's trace it together. We're going to hop to the top, do a straight line down to the bottom, and do a horizontal line across the bottom. And that's how we write and trace the letter L. Please write the letter that makes the sound R. Please write the letter that makes the sound R. To write the letter R, you're going to start at the top line and do a vertical line down to the bottom. Then you're going to hop back up to the top and do a curve all the way back across the middle. Then when you're at that middle, you're going to do a slanted line down to the bottom. Now let's trace it in the air together. We're going to do a straight line from the top all the way down to the bottom. When we're at the bottom, we're hopping back up to the top and doing a curve to the middle. Once we're at that middle, we will do a slanted line down to the bottom. And that is how we write the letter R. Please write the letter that makes the sound H. Please write the letter that makes the sound H. To write the letter H, you're going to start at the top and do a vertical line down to the bottom. Then you're going to hop back up to the top and do another vertical line down to the bottom. Then you'll do a horizontal line across the middle, connecting those two lines. Let's trace a letter H in the air. We're going to start at the top, do a vertical line down to the bottom, hop back up to the top, do a vertical line down to the bottom, and then hopping to the middle, we will connect those two lines with a horizontal line. I really like the letter H because it is a symmetrical letter, meaning if we wanted to, we could fold that letter in half and it would be the same on either side. That is how you write and draw the letter H. Please write the letter that makes the sound K. Please write the letter that makes the sound K. To write the letter K, you're going to hop to the top line and do a vertical line straight down to the bottom. Then you're going to hop back up to the top and do a slanted line to the middle line, connecting with that first line. Then from that middle line, you're going to do another slanted line, but this one down to the bottom. Now let's trace it in the air together. We're going to hop to the top, do a straight line down to the bottom. Hop back up to the top, do a slanted line to the middle, and then hop from the middle down to the bottom. That is how you write the letter K. Please write the letter that makes the sound K. Please write the letter that makes the sound K. Let's write the letter C. We're going to start almost at the top line and do a curve from that top spot, almost at that top spot, all the way around towards the bottom and curving up just a little bit. All right, now let's trace it together in the air. Starting almost at the top, we're going to curve around, down towards the middle, towards the bottom, curving back up and stopping. So we're almost making a circle, but not quite. And that is how you write and trace the letter C. Please write the letter that makes the sound Z. Write the letter that makes the sound Z. This is how you write the letter Z. You do one horizontal line across the top of your page. Then you do a slanted line from the top down to the bottom line. And then you do a third line, which is another horizontal line across at the bottom. All right, now let's trace that letter in the air together. We're going to do a line across, slanted line down to the bottom, and another line across. That's how you write the letter Z. Write the letter that makes the sound S. Write the letter that makes the sound S. This is how you write the letter S. Starting almost at the top, you're going to do a curve around and down to the middle. Then you're going to do a curve the opposite direction, down to the bottom, and scooping up just a little bit when you're at the bottom. Let's trace this one in the air together. This is a really fun letter. To do the letter S, we're going to start almost at the top, curve all the way around towards the middle. Then going the opposite direction, we're going to curve towards the bottom and curve just slightly back up. And that is how you write and trace the letter S. Please write the letter that makes the sound E. Please write the letter that makes the sound E. To write the letter E, you're going to start at the top line and do a vertical line straight down to the bottom. Then you're going to hop back up to the top and do a horizontal line across, connecting with that first line. Then you're going to hop to the middle, do another horizontal line, connecting with that first line, and then you hop down to the bottom and do another horizontal line, connecting with that first line. Let's trace it in the air together. Hop to the top, straight line down to the bottom, hop back up to the top, do a straight line connecting to that first line, hop to the middle, do another straight line connecting to that first line, and then hop to the bottom and do another straight line connecting to that first line. And that is how you write and trace the letter E. Please write the letter that makes the sound B. Please write the letter that makes the sound B. To write the letter B, you're going to start at the top and go straight down to the bottom with a vertical line. Then you hop back up to the top and do a curve around to the middle. Then once you're at the middle, you do another curve, and this time all the way down around to the bottom. I like to think that the letter B has two bellies. Let's trace that letter B in the air. We do a straight line down to the bottom. Hopping back up to the top, we're going to curve around to the middle, and then we stay at the middle, and we curve down to the bottom, making another belly for our B. And that is how you write and trace the capital letter B. Please write the letter that makes the sound G. Please write the letter that makes the sound G. This is how you write the letter G. Starting almost at the top, you're going to do a curve all the way down and around, past that bottom and scooping back up to the middle. Almost making a circle, but not fully making a circle. Then when you're at that middle spot where you stopped, you're going to do a horizontal line straight towards the very middle point of that G. And that's how you write a letter G. Let's trace it together. We're going to start at the top, curve around, around, around to the bottom, back up towards the middle. When we're at the middle, we're going to do a horizontal line in towards the center point of that G. And that is how you write and trace the letter G. Fantastic job on our visual and our auditory drill. It's time now for us to take all our sounds and blend them together for our blending drill. So let's continue down our path. Wow, we have a lot of sounds to work with on our blending board today. We have 3 initial sounds, J, R, W. We have all 5 vowels that we've talked about, and we have so many different final sounds here, they almost don't fit. We have B, T, B, T, L, T, N, T, P, T, N, T, and ST. Oh, I realized we have double of our final NT sound there. That's funny. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our first word. We are going to make the word wit. W, I, T. Wit, wit. Now, how will I change wit to w-et? W-et. Oh, I hear that E sound. W, wet, wet. Now, please go ahead and think about changing the final sound with me. We're going to be taking off this T and instead putting on the PT. We get wept, wept, wept. Oh, like someone who was crying, wept, wept. Now, taking off that PT and adding an NT, I get went, went. I went to the movies, went. How would I change went to west, west? Oh, I'm going to need to change that final sound, and I think I'm going to try this one right here to see west, west. Now, you might notice these letters aren't exactly the same style as each other, but that's okay because we know what sound they make, so it doesn't matter if they look a little wonky. So we have west. I'm going to take off this W and then replace it with an R. I get rest, rest. After this, I'm going to go take a rest. I'm going to take off this R and replace it with this sound. I get jest, jest. Oh, surely you jest. That means you must be kidding. To jest is to be kidding around. That's why a jester, a court jester, is called a jester, because they're someone who kids around. How would I change jest to just? Jest. I'm going to take off that vowel sound and put a U. Just. Just. Now, I would like to change just to jut. Jut. Oh, I hear just the t sound. Jut. Jut. I'm going to take off my U and put an O, and I get jot. Jot. I'm going to put an S on the end. Jots, jots. Someone who likes to write notes on paper likes to be someone who jots things down. Someone who jots is a note writer. Let's see, we're going to change jots to, oh, I'm going to take off that T and put a B here. Jobs, jobs. So many jobs you can have when you grow up. And you don't have to choose just one. You can choose many jobs and switch it up. Oh, no, I want to keep my B there, but I'm going to take off my O and add an A, and I get jabs. Jabs. To jab somebody is to poke them. Poke, poke, poke. Let's take off our S, and we get jab. Jab. And that, gosh, we made so many words today. That was really cool to see all the ways these letters and these sounds could become so many words. Let's put our J back in the initial section, our A back here, and our B here, and we'll be ready for the next time we use our blending board. We're now entering the second part of our lesson. If you're going to do just part 1, this is where you'll pause. But if you're doing part 1 and part 2 today, then keep going with me and we'll review that new concept we talked about at the beginning of our lesson. Let's go. This is the letter Y, and Y is a consonant. The letter Y makes the sound Y. Y. Can you make that sound? Y. Y spells Y, like in the beginning of the word yarn. Yarn. Can you say yarn? Y. Y. So the interesting thing about the letter Y and the sound that it makes is that it's a very hard sound to isolate, to say all by itself, and we tend to add a bit of a schwa sound to it. So it's helpful to think about the word yarn and then remove the arn part and think about what we're left with. Y. Arn. Y. Arn. We can hear the Y sound in the beginning of words like yak, y-ak, yak, and in the beginning of words like yet, y-et, yet. Can you do that one with me? Y-et, yet. The letter Y is such an interesting letter because it can make both consonant and vowel sounds. Today we're going to be focusing on Y as a consonant. To make that Y sound, start with your mouth opened and your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Then open your mouth wider as you let that sound flow. Like in the beginning of the word yes, yes, or in the beginning of the word yellow, yellow, yellow. And see if you can really isolate that beginning sound. Let's try it together. Tongue up, mouth open, then glide into the sound y. You can hear it at the start of words like young and yell. It's fun to see how letters work in different ways. And we'll come back to the letter Y again when we talk about it when it takes almost a vowel form. So this is not our last time talking about the letter Y. Keep practicing that Y sound and listen for it in other words too. Now let's practice writing an uppercase Y. To make an uppercase Y, you're going to start at that top line and we're going to skywrite with our fingers. So start at the top line, do a slanted line towards the middle. Go back up to the top line, do a slanted line to meet that first line at the middle. And then from the middle, do a straight line down to the bottom. Beautiful. Let's skywrite it again. Top, slant to the middle. Top, slant to the middle. Middle, straight to the bottom. Now let's learn how to make the lowercase y. So we start at the middle and slant down to the bottom. Then we hop back up to the middle. And this time when we slant, we're going to go past the bottom. This is a letter that goes beneath the bottom line. So starting at that middle, slant down, 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 past that bottom line and stop. Let's try again. Go to the middle, slant to the bottom. Go to the middle, slant to the bottom, and go past it. And that is how we make the lowercase and the uppercase y. We've now reached the part of our lesson where we do our word work. So if you have a word work board that looks like that on my sign, you should pause here and get out your materials. If you're going to follow along with me and my word work board, then let's keep going together on this path. Let's go do some word work. All right, let's do our word work together. We have so many letters here. I love seeing how it grows every time and all the different letters and sounds we have learned. Please start by making the word yum. Yum. Y. Y. Yum. Yum. I made yum. Now, if you have your own word work board, you can make these words along with me. Otherwise, you can just follow with your eyeballs and we can learn together on my word work board. All right, so let's change yum to some. Oh, I hear that beginning sound is our s, and we get some. Now, this is some like the answer to an addition problem. That's this type of sum. I'm going to take off that S and put a G, and I get gum. I love chewing gum. I probably chew too much gum, but I just really enjoy it. What happens if I take off my M and instead put a T at the end? I get gut. Okay, now I want to change gut to get. Oh, I'm going to need an E in place of my U. Get. Now, how would I change get to bet? Bet. Oh, I hear a b in the beginning, and I get bet. How, oops, sorry to thump that. Didn't mean to have a little earthquake there. How would I change bet to best? Best. I'm going to scoot my T, put an S there, and I get best. Best. Now, what happens if I take off my B and I add an R and I get rest? Rest. How would I change rest to west? Like, go west. That's a cardinal direction. So take off that R and instead get that W, and we get west. West. Now, if I take off my S and I put my T right back there, what do I get? I get wet. Wet. Oh, that rhymes with get. Now, take off the W, put a J in its place, and I am left with jet. Now, I want to work with this letter Y again. So I'm going to take off my J and add a Y, and I get yet. I haven't learned some of these letters yet, but I know a lot of them. Now, take off that T and put a P, and we get yep. That's sort of a casual way of saying yes. Now, what will I do to change yep to yes? Yes. Oh, I hear that S. So I'm going to take off that P that's at the end and put an S, and I get yes. Yes and yes. We are all done with our word work today, so let's return our letters whence they came. We are going to put our E on the E spot, our Y on the Y spot, and tomorrow we'll have another letter tile to fill out our word work board. Whew, good job with your word work today. Awesome. Wonderful word work, readers. It's time now for us to head over to our irregular word practice. So let's head down this path and keep going. The word is from. Say it with me. From. Now let's use from in a sentence. For example, she is from a small town. Now you use from in a sentence. Now let's figure out how many sounds are in the word from. We're going to finger tap those sounds. First sound, f. Next sound, r. Next sound, Last sound, m. Oh, wow, there's 4 sounds in from. Let's do it again. F, r, m. From. Let's do it again. F, r, m. From. There are 4 sounds in the word from. So why is this sound, or why is this word irregular? Well, the F is making an expected sound. F. The R is making an expected sound. But that U, or not the U, the O is sounding like a U. Instead of making an ah sound, it's making an sound, as if it were a U. But it's not, it's an O. And then that M is also making an expected sound. So the part of the word from that we really need to know by heart is that the O is doing something unexpected. All right, so put that in your heart bank of words, and let's go ahead and spell it on our arm. F-R-O-M, from. Let's do it again. F-R-O-M, from. And that is the word from. So the word is look. Say it with me. Look. Let's use look in a sentence. For example, I like to look at the stars. Now you try using look in a sentence. And if you need to, pause the video. Now let's figure out how many sounds are in the word look. We're going to finger tap those sounds. What's the first sound that we hear in look? L. Next sound, last sound, k. 3 sounds. Look. Let's do it again. L-k. Look. Now let's focus on what is irregular about this word. The L and the K are making expected sounds, but those 2 O's together are making and we have not learned that rule yet. So therefore, we need to know that part by heart. This is making look, look. All right, so let's spell it on our arms now that we know about the specialness of this word. L-O-O-K, look. L-O-O-K, look. And I remember there's a little rhyme I had learned about this when I was little that's L-O-O-K, look, look, look. L-O-O-K, look, look, look. So perhaps that will help you remember it too. All right, that is the word look. The word is book. Say it with me, book. Now let's use book in a sentence. For example, I am reading a great book right now. Now you try using book in a sentence. Let's segment the word into its sounds and figure out how many sounds are in the word book. Let's finger tap. B-U-K, book. Let's do it again. B-U-K, book. I hear 3 sounds in the word book. Now let's look at what makes this word irregular. The B is doing an expected thing and the K is doing an expected thing, but those 2 O's together are making the sounds and we haven't learned about that yet. So that's why this word is irregular. So this word is book, book. Now let's spell it on our arms. B-O-O-K, book. Again, B-O-O-K, book. And that is the word book. And it rhymes with the word look. The word is are. Say it with me, are. Now let's use are in a sentence. For example, we are friends. Now you try using are in a sentence. Let's figure out together how many sounds are in the word are. We're going to finger tap those sounds. What's the first sound? Ah, and the next sound, Ah, are. Let's do it again. Ooh, we just sounded like a pirate. Ah, are. Now let's focus on the parts of this word that we need to learn by heart. When we look at this word and we hear this word, we hear are, but the letters are A, R, E. And we haven't really learned yet about the rule with an E at the end of a word. So we would expect this word to say air because the E is helping out that A, but that's not what's happening with this word. We pronounce this word are. So the unexpected part of this word is the E at the end because it's not doing the job that we expect it to do. So what word is this? Are. Now let's practice spelling it on our arm. A-R-E, are. Again, A-R-E, are. And that is the word are. The word is was. Say it with me, was. Now let's use was in a sentence. For example, she was at school. Now you try using this word in a sentence. Let's figure out how many sounds are in the word was. We're going to finger tap those sounds. The first sound, w. The next sound, The last sound, z. Was. Let's do it again. Z. Was. There are 3 sounds in the word was. Now let's focus on what makes this irregular. When we look at the first sound, we see the W, and it is making an expected sound. It's saying w. But then we get to the A and the S. The A is making the sound as if it were a U, but it's not a U, it's an A. So we need to learn that part by heart. And the Z, or the S, is making a Z sound, which we haven't learned about yet, but sometimes the S does that. So this is was. There are several parts of this word that we need to learn by heart. Let's practice spelling it on our arm. W-A-S, was. Can you do that? W-A-S, was. And this is the word was. Wow, readers, we are nearly at the end of our lesson today. Our last practice is our connected text, which is my favorite part of all of our lessons. Now we are going to take all the concepts we've been working on and we're going to put them together as readers and as writers. So let's go and finish up our practice together. Yay, it's time for our connected text. So this is the connected text that I've printed off for my Teachers Pay Teachers page. And if you would like to have this same sheet to work on, you can download it from the link below. Now, there's a lot of text here, and sometimes that can just make my brain feel too busy, like there's too many words. So something I like to do that's just a simple thing you can do too is just cover up the text that we're not working on. And then it's just not so busy, right? So we're going to go ahead and work on this first sentence to read together. I have my pen so that I can go ahead and count how many words I see before I do any reading. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. Okay, I see 6 words. And we've been talking about that letter Y. Yeah. And I happen to notice that there's a letter Y right there, which is kind of cool to see that we're going to practice using it right away. All right, so now that we have counted our words and we know our goal is reading these 6 words, let's read together. Oops, I didn't mean to scoop that. The first word is an irregular word. I noticed that right away. Oh, you know what? I'll use my pen as a pointer. See, we've got our irregular word, the. I know the word the. And then our next word is yaks. Oh, the yaks. We did that word earlier today when we were working with Blenda and Siggy. We practiced the word yaks. The yaks rest. The yaks rest on, oh, there's the again, the, and bed. The yaks rest on the bed. Awesome! We read that so we can check it off. And let's go ahead to our next word. Now, we can keep that top one revealed if we want to, or we can also go ahead and cover it up as well so we're not feeling like we're looking at too much text. Just kind of nice. All right, our next word, our next sentence, let's count the words that we see together. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words again. And I see some letter Y's again. There's a letter Y right there and a letter Y right there. I'm also immediately noticing some of our irregular words. All right, so let's read together. We got another irregular word. The dogs yap. The dogs yap at there's another irregular word, yaks. The dogs yap at the yaks. I'm imagining like a yak farm, and instead of there being sheep dogs that herd the sheep, there maybe are yak dogs that herd the yaks. Okay, so the dogs yap at the yaks. And then for our last sentence, we're going to scoot this down again. And I can weigh this so we don't get a little shadow there. And we can count our words again. And I'm going to switch up my color of pen and go with this periwinkle blue color. So here we go. Let's count our words. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they all had 6 words. That's sort of funny. It's a bit of a coincidence. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so our first word, oh, and let's see the Y's. Let's count the Y's. I noticed there's only one this time. So the first word is a name. Rob. Rob. Said. I know that because it's an irregular word. Rob said yes to there's a lot of irregular words. Rob said yes to the dogs. Rob said yes to the dogs. I wonder if the dogs were asking for treats. Now that we've read all 3 of these, we can actually scoot our page up and we can read them all together. The yaks rest on the bed. The dogs yap at the yaks. Rob said yes to the dogs. It kind of feels like a story, doesn't it? It's like a story about a yak farm. Okay, so now it's time for us to do our connected text writing. Now remember, when you're doing this writing, please write along with me so that you get the writing practice too. That's really important. For our first connected text writing sentence, we are going to write, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. 5 words. Wes did not tag me. Wes did not tag me. And you know I like to go ahead and mark so I have a sense of where those words are going to be. Wes did not tag me. Now I might have to go to another line, but we'll see. Maybe I won't. So the first word is Wes. That's somebody's name, so we'll definitely capitalize. Wes. There's that name, Wes. Did. D-I-D. Wes did not. Wes did not. Wes did not tag. Tag, we have our G going below the line. Wes did not tag me. Beautiful. Wes did not tag me. All right, let's do our next one. I'm going to switch my colors. I'm going to go with a teal. So our next sentence is Rob said he did. Ooh, this sounds like a continuation. Rob said he did. Ooh, I wonder if this is all about a story about tag. Rob said he did. 4 words. So we've got our first word, Rob said he did. Okay, so first word, Rob, capital R-O-B. Rob is a name that's short for Robert oftentimes. Rob said. Oh, I know that. That's one of our irregular words. S-A-I-D. Now, I'm glad I know this one by heart because I wouldn't sound it out that way. Rob said he, another one of our irregular words, did. Rob said he did. We've got our 4 words there. Wes did not tag me. Rob said he did. And for our last one, it is a question. Did you get the book? 5 words. Did you get the book? This does not seem like it has anything to do with tag. So, did you get the book? I might run out of space, and if I do, that's okay. I'll just go to the next line. Did, capital D, because we're at the beginning of a sentence. Did you get the, last word, book. Another one of our irregular words. B-O-O-K. Did you get the book? Question mark, because it's a question. Excellent writing. Let's go ahead and read everything we wrote. Wes did not tag me. Rob said he did. Did you get the book? And that is our connected text writing today. Wonderful work. Congratulations! We made it to the end of today's lesson. You are working so hard as a reader and as a writer, and I am so proud of you. But more importantly, I hope that you are proud of you. You are doing such a wonderful job in the Reader's Garden. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Phonics Connect.